So I'm going to be honest with you. If you're paying full list price on a new construction home in Southern California right now, you're probably leaving money on the table. So in this video, I'm going to give you the real behind the scenes strategies that builders don't want you to know about. We're talking about the exact things I do with my clients, how to negotiate smarter, what's actually flexible in the deal, and how to walk away with the best possible outcome. So we're going to break this into two parts. First, if you're building from the ground up, and second, if you're buying one of the builder's quick move-in or inventory homes. So these are very different transactions and negotiations, and the opportunities in each one depends on timing, leverage, and how you approach the deal. So I'm Steve Enchin, your Southern California new construction home expert, and every week I talk with people just like you who are overwhelmed about how to buy and finance a new home, and I help them make their home search and transaction easy, straightforward, and even fun. So let's get right into how to negotiate when you're building from the ground up. Because when you're building a new home from the ground up in Southern California, it's important to understand where the builder has flexibility and where they don't. Negotiating the base price you see advertised as the priced from number, that's not where you're going to get any traction. Builders set that number to protect the overall pricing in the community, and it's tied to future appraisals, resale values, and the dozens of other homes they're trying to sell nearby. So trying to get a discount off the base price is usually, honestly, a waste of time, and you don't want them giving these kinds of discounts to other buyers either. It messes with neighborhood values and could hurt your own home's long-term value if the builder keeps doing it after you bought your home. But that doesn't mean that we can't negotiate. We absolutely can. We just have to know where to focus. So we start by understanding how their pricing is structured. You've got your base price, your lot premium, your structural upgrades, and your design center selections. And that's where the price really moves. Because most buyers in our market end up spending about 12 to 15% of the base price on upgrades. So if you're starting with, say, a $700,000 base price, you're realistically going to land closer to $780,000 to $805,000 by the time you're done. Well, unless you decide to take everything standard and not do any upgrades, or we buy from an all-inclusive builder who pre-designs the interiors and does not offer a design center. Now, structural upgrades, things like maybe adding more garage space, converting a loft to an extra bedroom, or extending the primary suite, those prices are fixed. You're not going to be able to negotiate those down. And the same thing with materials from the design center, because builders work off of pre-approved materials, vendor agreements, and warranty limitations. They're not swapping in custom tile you saw on Pinterest or letting you bring in your cousin who does drywall on the weekends. But where we do have room to negotiate is in how much incentive money we can get to cover those upgrades. And that's where the leverage is. Instead of trying to get a lower price on a $15,000 structural upgrade, you want to ask for more incentive dollars to help offset it. And that money can be applied towards design finishes, structural upgrades, or your closing costs, depending on how the builder structures it. So some builders will break it out. $15,000 towards design, $10,000 towards closing. Others give you maybe a flat number and let you allocate however you want. Like if you're getting that lump sum structure, you want to be sure you reserve a portion for closing costs and, if possible, a rate buy down. It can save you significantly more over time than trying to squeeze in another backsplash upgrade. In fact, I often tell buyers that the best long-term bang for their discount is more money to buy down the interest rate. That is far more effective and will deliver more cost savings long-term than getting more money to spend in the design center. Now, lot premiums are another place where there's sometimes room. If a home you want sits on a high demand lot, a corner lot, a cul-de-sac, maybe some open space behind it, you're probably not going to get much movement. But on a standard interior lot, or perhaps ones that builders been sitting on, there may be a little room to push. Not always, and it's builder by builder, but it's always worth asking. So in our area, KB Homes is one builder who puts lot premiums on virtually every single home. So here we will be trying to target that portion of the total price for negotiation, especially if it's a lower demand lot. Now, one other thing to pay attention to: rate lock incentives. In today's market, some builders are offering long-term rate locks if they think they can finish the home in 5 or 6 months. But some builders use these to replace other incentives like closing cost credits, because buying down that rate is expensive for them. So if they're offering you a 5.25% or 4.99% rate, just understand it may be either or. You're not going to get the rate and the closing credit, but other builders will give you both, or maybe a flat amount to allocate as you want. So know which is more valuable to you based on your loan size and timeline, and that's where our lender conversations come into play. Lastly, be realistic about location-based pricing. You might see the same model in Menifee and in Irvine with $1 million price difference. That's not negotiable. It's driven by land costs, development fees, and what buyers in that zip code are willing to pay. You're not going to talk to a Orange County or LA County builder into matching Inland Empire pricing. Same floor plan, different market reality. So to sum up this part, we don't waste our time haggling over the base price. We focus on where the builder can actually move: design incentives, lot premiums, closing costs, and rate buydowns. And we always approach it with a strategy, not just a wish list. Now let's shift to inventory homes. I also call them quick move-ins. This is where the real opportunities are right now, especially if you're ready to make a move soon and you're flexible on finishes. These homes are already built or close to it, and builders are motivated to get them off their books. So the first thing to do when you find a home you like on a builder's website, ask me to cross-check it to see if it's on the MLS. And here's why. If that home is already listed on the MLS, the builder will need to record the final sales price, and that price becomes a comp in the neighborhood. That comp impacts appraisals and future sales, so the builder's going to be more careful with how far they'll go on price reductions. But if that same home isn't on the MLS yet, they don't have to report the price publicly, and that gives them a lot more room to negotiate behind the scenes. So that's where having an agent with a strong builder relationship, like me, really makes a difference. We're often the first to get a text saying, "Hey, we got a contract that just fell through. Can you bring us a buyer?" And these homes come back unexpectedly, and the builder wants to move them fast. But those deals usually don't go to the general public. They go to an agent who is already in the loop with that builder. So if you're working with someone connected, this is where you can get real value. And if you're not, well, you're probably not even seeing these homes before they're gone. So the next concept you need to understand is what I call back pocket money. So builders often have a budget they can work with without needing corporate or management approval. It might be, $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the builder and the home. They won't always advertise it. Actually, they'll never advertise it, but it's there. It can be used for price adjustments, rate buydowns, or closing costs, and is completely negotiable. So here is the pro move. If they're advertising a rate like 4.99% or 5.25%, that rate is expensive for the builder to buy down. In most cases, you're going to have to choose between getting that low interest rate or receiving an additional closing cost credit. You're not going to get both, but understand what's more valuable to you and structure your offer accordingly. Also, if the builder offers you the option, always choose a larger closing cost credit or lower interest rate over a price reduction. The impact on your monthly payment and total interest savings is usually much more significant, especially if it helps you buy down your rate. That's where your long-term savings are. So let's talk extras. Once a home hits late stage, what some builders call stage 9 or 10, it's getting ready to close or become available for sale as a quick move-in. So that's when you can start asking for things like maybe washer dryer, fridge, maybe a garage epoxy coating, maybe blinds. Builders know these small upgrades make a difference for buyers, and in some cases, they're already including them just to move the home, especially in communities that still have a lot of standing inventory. And don't underestimate the value of timing. The end of a quarter or end of the month can be your best friend. And that's when sales reps and regional managers are under pressure to hit their numbers. If you come in ready to sign, pre-approved, and with a clean file, meaning no home to sell, deposit money ready to go, you are suddenly very interesting to them. Combine that with a reasonable but firm offer, and you're in a strong position to negotiate. And that leads to one of the strongest phrases we can use. If you can do this, I am ready to sign today with your checkbook visible. That line changes the conversation. If you're going to use it, mean it. Don't throw it around lightly. But when you're serious, it gives the rep something powerful to take to their manager. It says, this deal will close today if you can meet these terms. We just need to be realistic with what you're asking for. So no, you're not going to take a $700,000 home and negotiate it down to $600,000, but $7,000 off the price. $20,000 in closing costs or a rate buy down, and a few extras thrown in, that's achievable, especially if it's been sitting or if they've already had one deal fall through. Also, be careful how you interpret days on market. Some of these homes might appear as being available for 6 months, 180 days, but the builder may have put it on the market or on their website when they were just halfway through construction, not when it was move-in ready. It might have only been finished for 30 days. Long days on market doesn't always mean a desperate seller. So ask me when the home was actually completed to better gauge the builder's motivation. I can find that out. Plus, I often see the same lot numbers sitting week to week when the builders send me their inventory sheets. Finally, remember that some builders have more room to negotiate than others. Larger corporate builders may have stricter internal pricing policies, and smaller, more local builders in Southern California may evaluate each deal individually. So let's talk strategy. How to frame your offer and how to actually get it accepted, because here's the truth. Builders aren't in the business of giving away money just because you ask nicely. They're not an independent seller selling a resale home. They're running a business. They're managing dozens of transactions a month, and their job is to protect margins, comp values, and timelines. There is absolutely zero emotion involved on their side. If you want to win, you have to show up as a serious, well-positioned buyer. And that starts with preparation. Make sure you're pre-approved with a lender the builder will accept, or better yet, pre-approved with their preferred lender. Have your financial documents ready. Know your numbers. Be able to write the check for the deposit and sign the purchase agreement that day. And show them through me that you're ready to move quickly and close cleanly. That kind of buyer gets prioritized. That's who the sales rep wants to go to bat for. So when it comes time to negotiate, the best thing you can do is stay calm, focused, and respectful. Don't come in swinging, demanding massive discounts or playing hardball on every little thing. That kind of approach usually backfires. Builders are going to be far more responsive to buyers who present realistic offers with clear logic and are ready to sign if the numbers work. Ultimately, it's me who will be presenting the offer, because builders in Southern California generally do not negotiate directly with consumers. I will present our offer using their preferred format, which could be verbal, text, or email, which the on-site rep will need to send to management for review. The on-site rep is not the decision maker. So if you're buying a new construction home anywhere in Southern California, whether that's Riverside County, San Bernardino, Orange County, or LA County, reach out to me. I'll help you make sure you're getting the best possible deal with the fewest surprises. And if you got questions, drop them in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this video helpful, like the video and subscribe to my channel. This is where I break down what's really happening in Southern California's new construction home market with model tours and important education videos like this one, so you can shop smarter and buy with confidence. So thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.